educational systems, political systems, economic systems, and healthcare systems throughout the world entire as the woman evolves and chooses to contribute in her own way and in all fields. I invite all women to keep going on a path of self-discovery without apology or guilt of her role in uplifting our world may be more important to us than we've ever realized. When women gather, there is a collective power to heal, to find a voice, to rise up, and to make a difference. This new model of feminine leadership is not about hierarchies of power, but about circles of collaboration. For us to become true leaders, we must embrace our sisters as our friends and give one another permission to shine. Some thoughts for the sisterhood. Imagine if we, the women of the world, spent less time fighting the gender divide and more time eradicating the divide within our own ranks. Imagine if women backed each other unconditionally and universally. Why we continue, we could rule the world. I would like to see women embracing difference, making a difference. I do believe more women and our like-minded brothers who embody and strive to perpetuate the values of the sacred feminine, partnership, negotiation, nurturing, equality, justice, fairness, caring, and sharing, inclusiveness. We will be the ones who choose sustainability in the long term over short-term thinking. They select peace over war, develop over growth, partnership over domination, and a world where we take care of the 99% rather than just the value needs of the 1%, as we seem to do today, that causes the suffering and hopelessness of so many. I want you to know that you are part of something bigger, creating a catalyst for major change on this planet. This is the opportunity of our lifetime to gather women in our local communities in circle and create a new paradigm of feminine leadership together. It's not about us doing it alone, because together in sisterhood, we are stronger. Whatever your role, sister, mother, lover, friend, entrepreneur, executive, employee, women are being called to lead from a new paradigm in our families, in our communities, and in the world at large. Finding an empowered community of women is important for the spiritual growth of any woman. I'd like to invite you all, in closing today, to join me in Circle. It is a paradigm of heart-centeredness, of knowing and speaking your truth from a place of both power and grace. It takes individual courage and strength, but we don't have to do it alone. No more breaking each other down to build ourselves up. No more judgment. As we become true leaders, we learn to embrace our sisters as our friends and give one another permission to be beautiful, authentic, individual selves. We come to know that there is room for all of us. If you're looking for a place to fill your cup, to access the support that you need and the desire to grow into your most amazing self, please join me on Sunday as we join in Circle for a day-long workshop on the power of self-love. Thank you.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Shivani Gurbai. And of course, we will be talking about why is it important, like of course Amanda just did, to love other cultures, other than yours, and believe in other faiths as well. know, but we don't really realize in our day-to-day lives. And in my last slide, I would really like to emphasize on a Buddhist concept of, and it's called, of course once I reach there, I'll take you through it in much greater detail as to how is it that we can imbibe that particular concept, not in just our, on a broader perspective in terms of, okay, or I have to accept the other cultures and faiths, but also in our day-to-day lives. This is not just about accepting my culture versus yours, but it's also accepting your partner's faith. You could be believing in something while your partner or your children or your people in the office could have a faith and a belief in something else. So you believe in someone or something, right? So I'll very quickly take you through all of that, and then Patty will move forward on that front. So why is it important to learn and love culture and faith of each other? So first, a very broad, quick definition before we start on as to what is culture and what is faith. It's the ideas, customs, and social behavior of a particular people or society. It's a very simplistic language. I don't want to complicate it too much. And faith is complete trust or confidence in someone or something. Last evening, I was talking to my roommate, and I'm showing her these slides, and she said, "Isn't trust and faith the same thing?" And it got me thinking, and I realized, no, when you have consistent trust on somebody, and when that person consistently proves himself or herself right to you, you develop faith, right? So I might have trust on Patty and on Amanda right now, like I trust them that they'll do a good job. But consistently over a series of sessions, I realize that whatever they speak is great. I know that, thank you. I will say that I have faith in them. I know that whenever, at any given point in time, so of course, like Amanda, when she walked in, she said that I was given this topic last moment. That goes to show that the all organization has faith in her. So that's a little different context. So why is it important for us to love other cultures and faiths? So these are very quick top 5 points, very obvious points, but please let's just imbibe it. Other cultures and faiths are very interesting. So of course we get very used to it. I attended a session of Patty's the other day, and it was again something on culture. And she said, one is that you're in your own society, you're in your space, you're very comfortable, and you think you're the best. But when she stepped out of her comfort zone, out of the United States, and she went to Thailand to attend a certain workshop where she was exposed to 30 other religions, 30 other cultures, and people from different countries, she realized, oh my God, there is so much more out there. So that grew her interest in not just in her own space, but also in other cultures, and got her more interested in life per se. Next, please. You can stimulate your mind. So, of course, that comes from point number 1, that it starts stimulating you, saying that, all right, if Indians do this, what do the Chinese do, what do the Japanese do, and why do they do what they do? There has to be a very logical reasoning behind it, which I think is very important for all of us to understand. Please. Learning about other cultures fosters understanding. I don't need to explain this. You realize there's more than one way to do something, definitely. There are, so in India, there's something called nuskas. So nuska is basically home remedies to do, to cure, to heal, and so on and so forth. And we realize that in Thailand, for example, or in Chinese, there is something called acupuncture, which is something that other cultures are adopting to heal themselves. Similarly, Japanese have some sort of a drink which will help you heal yourself. So we're just broadening our horizon to do similar. And of course, there's homeopathy, and then there is allopathy. So there's just so many ways that we can fix ourselves. And lastly, of course, if we'll be more ready for an increasingly global world, and nothing is a bigger example than Beth, where we are right now. If we were not open to each other's cultures and faiths, there is no way we would have been able to communicate with each other the way we are. I mean, I found a wonderful friend in Noor who's an Egyptian. Yes, and I said that she looks like an Indian, and she's
I hope so.
yes,
Yeah.
and you know, she wore a sari the other day, so her horizon is really expanding, and just like mine is. This is the last slide, and which is based on a Buddhist concept, which is called 3,000 realms in a single moment. This is very, very important, not just for our for this particular subject matter, but for our daily lives. So it says that there are 3,000 possibilities in one single moment. So I'll go on the first one. So there are 10 worlds and the mutual possessions. So when we say mutual possessions, it basically means that at any given point in time, we can shift from one world to another. So today, right now, I might be in a state of heaven because I'm very happy, there are audiences listening to me, etc. But probably I might just get one phone call which would straight send me to hell in this very moment, right? Or when I'm in hell, I'm depressed, I feel the world has come to an end. Probably, God forbid, but hypothetically, let's say I don't have a job, I have bills to pay, and so on and so forth, and suddenly I get one phone call, or I get a message, or I get an email saying that you know, your pending provident fund, etc., has been transferred to your account. So straight away from hell, I get into either heaven or Buddhahood. Or there's a certain, many times I've attended so many sessions, people have gone through a lot in their lives, and they're in a state of hell, and a sudden moment of realization happens, and they say, hey, you know what, why did I suffer so much? Why have I come here? And of course, Noor's session this morning was something similar. And she realized, no, this is my learning, this is what I have to do, I have to reach out to people, this is my lesson out of this suffering. And she moved on to Buddhahood or Bodhisattva. So these are all interconnected. Next we come to, I'll tell you why what I'm speaking is connected to the topic of today. I'll come to that a little later. But it's important that we understand this first. Then we come to 10 factors, which is appearance, nature, entity, power, influence, internal cause, relation, latent effect, manifest effect, consistency from beginning to end. So appearance is what we look like. Our entity, our nature is our inherent nature. Entity is a combination of both of them. Power is what is inside us. And influence is how we influence the power. So I might have a power of being a great orator, but if I just zip my mouth up, I'm not influencing it, I'm not using it, right? So that's that. Similarly, internal cause, what sort of causes I'm making by the power that I'm using, and how is it related to the people that I'm interacting with? What's the latent effect manifest in terms of what is the manifestation of, so I'm going really quickly because I understand there's very little time. And then how does it manifest in terms of my appearance, nature, my power that I'm using it, how does it manifest? And then consistency, what sort of consistency do I have in my life? We multiply that into the 3 realms that we are in. So the realm is realm of 5, which is form, perception, conception, variation, and consciousness. That's one realm. Realm of living beings and realm of environment. So form is what sort of physical form you are in. Perception, so how do you perceive? And what you perceive, how are you conceiving? So for example, you're on a road, it's 9 o'clock at night, there is, you're driving, you're going home from work, and you suddenly on the side of the road, you see there's some sort of an accident, there's a lot of crowd out there. Now if you're a woman, you would probably, so that's the form, you would probably perceive it as probably 2 men fighting, and so on and so forth, and then you'll conceive, should I go and help them, should I talk to them? No. So your conception would be, I'd rather stay away. And because that's your conception, your violation, which is your action, would be to carry on driving. That's your action. And hence, and that will affect your consciousness of the fact that it's right, this is the right thing that I have done, because I am safe. But if you're a man, the same situation changes, You're driving, it's 9 o'clock, and you say, hey, what's happening? There's some action happening, is something meeting, can I add in or should I break it? Let me see. I have power to influence that particular situation. Right? So every situation changes depending, and then he will violate, he will act accordingly, basis all of these 10 factors and the world that he is in. Probably, if he is in a world of humanity, first slide, and then he's a man in terms of nature, appearance, power that he has to influence, and he's in that particular realm of driving and seeing that particular scenario, he will take an action accordingly versus anyone else. And the realm of living beings is, of course, our entire surrounding, the society. So currently, our realm is that we are in Pullman Hotel, attending where our consciousness is to really network and meet everybody, to talk, to share experiences, etc. So that's the realm right now, what we are in. And the realm of environment, which means are we in India? We are in what land are we in? So imagine the same setting, same hotel, everything is just the same, but the city and the country is not New Delhi or India, it is New York. Everything changes immediately. So very briefly, now there are two reasons why I shared this. One is that when you're in a low life condition, so these last 4 points are called low life conditions, and the top six, the balance six are called high life conditions. When you're in a low life condition, please immediately think or realize that I'm in a low life condition because of the realm I'm in, because of the form factor, the 10 factors that I've gone through. So how do I now elevate myself from the low life conditions to high life conditions? Now, if we bring this concept into the topic of today, it's very simple. It basically means that we all are just the same, but we all come from different realms. We're just from different realms. We are in different forms. You know, her form is she's fair, she's got lovely blonde hair, she's tall, that's her form. Versus somebody else who's got, or me, who's got black hair, I'm relatively beatrish or dark in complexion, that's my form. My perception, your perception towards me in a sari versus your perception towards her in a Western outfit will be very different. And that's how you will react. Your consciousness will react to me like that. Your vibration will be like that. So please, it's very, very important to apply this in your daily lives when you're interacting with people of different cultures, whether it's Hindus or Jews or Muslims or Sikhs or anyone. They just are from a different realm, and hence they're acting from there. We need not judge them, because today, if I'm born in a Hindu Indian environment, and probably I will eat beef. Had I been born in another realm altogether, say in a Muslim family, I would have another realm, another upbringing. That's just that. It's just that. The basic difference. That's all. And I would be probably celebrating with beef on my table. Right? So it's just to say that we're really just the same. Please apply this in your daily lives for yourself and while you're interacting with others.
Okay, hello everyone. So everybody got the lunch. Okay, I'm Patty Latai. I'm here. Basically, chose to present at this. What would you say? In this forum, because my take, my understanding of being able to have knowledge of and appreciate and learn to love other cultures and religion really formulates a path to peace, okay? Because my background is one of peace building, and if you can see up here behind me, I was fortunate, and I have great gratitude to the Rotary Service Clubs for being willing to sponsor me for a 3-month fellowship in Bangkok, Thailand last year, from January to April. And you'll see, if we can just let this scroll. I was I was surrounded by individuals from 14 different countries, and there were 22 of us represented, and it was just a whole other world opened up for me. As an American, I have traveled quite a bit, but to be able to live in a very different culture, being American, with just completely different religions, different perceptions, different rooms of living on a day-to-day basis, it was extraordinary. I loved it. I felt like I was on 24/7, just learning and interacting with fellow brothers and sisters. We became very close. All religions, all any type of difference was celebrated. Okay, it was not. There wasn't this element of being prejudiced against this person, this person, this person. Too many people and too much energy and work to have any type of prejudice other than to just, realize we are having an extraordinary experience and to have it open arms. Okay? And I love the food, by the way. Although I like Indian food better, I have to tell you. So my goal here is just to share that our focus was on peace building. And so all the individuals were involved at some level in a peace building profession. And it was really interesting when I arrived there because there were social workers similar to the work that I do, social justice activism, and there were teachers, professors at universities teaching peace journalists, and then there was military, and there was police officers, and it just, this whole realm of different individuals in different capacities of building peace. And definitely eyes were opened, understanding cultural connections, cultural contrasts, cultural conflicts, gender-related sometimes, as well as just the religious understandings. My thing is, as an American, I'm a physical person. My background was phys ed and full journalism, sociology. I work with kids, with youth. I'm a hugger. Okay, I like to give hugs, which is great for those of us who are, like to have hugs and.
It's healthier.
Sorry.
Healthier.
It's healthier, right? Thank you.
Yeah.
To be able to express it. When I realized that I was in this cross-cultural group where many people were not familiar with hugging, and I was like, oh, I have to go 3 months without a hug? Oh my God, no. So, and it was funny because I'd go and I'd, just like, oh, I want to give you a hug, and some people would be reserved, and other people were like, oh, Muslim, don't touch. And I'm like, okay, sorry. And then there was the difference between the genders, the guys and the girls, and that was interesting to observe. And my Muslim, by the end of the 3 months, I had a little brother in Afghanistan who he actually teaches a form of restorative justice called Jirga. And we learned to hug like this. Okay? So we would, like this big space between us, but he did. He allowed me to hug him. He was very sweet. So in this, in learning that, I guess you would say the blocks to the cultural, to appreciating cultural adaptations. And I just, to me, I was just excited and I craved like just connection and just to understand and the different religions, and I became much more of a Buddhist because I had been, and it was not really supported. I came from a very Catholic family growing up, and so when I kind of shifted towards Buddhism, and I've been a vegetarian since I was 18. So learning that I was in a culture that supported that was wonderful, and I became a complete vegetarian again, and it was easy because I go to lunch with my Buddhist friends every day, and so we all were vegetarians together, and it was just very affirming. And my goal is to basically share that when you look at the blocks sometimes of the divisive factors within specific religions or cultures or countries, it's just the ability to open your mind and practice a level of awareness and tolerance that may not exist in the culture that you're from, but to be able to be an individual who accepts and understands and wants to promote peace. This is a pretty easy, functional way to be a peace builder in our world. And to Mahatma Gandhi's expression, be the change you wish to see in the world. And that is actually what we based our restorative justice approach into building peace in times of conflict. And just to be able to stand here in front of you all today, I have such an immense sense of gratitude and appreciation for everyone here. And thank you, my fellow speakers as well.
I have a question. I have something to contribute. Since 9/11 in America, there's been a lot of misconceptions about all world religions, and mainly Islam. And in our town, which is only 100,000 people, in the belt buckle of the Bible Belt, there was a lot of fear. So I started the Peace Ambassadors of West Texas. So we have been having peace initiatives every September for 11 days. We call it the 11 Days of Peace. And we invite people of all religions to come and share. We feature them in different venues and different things. But for 8 years, when we first started, there was a lot of resistance in our town because we stirred up a lot of fear. And I actually was considered the Antichrist because I was embracing all faith traditions and giving them a voice in our town. But what's happened as a result of this initiative, and I wanted to share with people because it was so easy to start, because after this we started doing a weekly book study about any book of quality with factual information, where we would all come together to discuss the book, and it all relates to interfaith dialogue. So we have all these faith traditions represented, we read the books, and the first year we had to have all the blinds closed because the Christians were so afraid that they would be threatened, as I was, to learn and sit with Muslims or Buddhists, or we had the Tibetan monks come to our town. It was almost an uprising. And but over the 8 years, I mean, within 6 months, people were like, I didn't know we had people of different faiths in our town. They were shocked. So the city council allowed us to start interfaith prayers. So we rotate a Muslim praise, then a Hindu praise, then a Buddhist praise in our city council. So 8 years later, we have, instead of all of these anti-Islamic movements that were coming through our town, now we're giving quality education so we can dispel the myths. And we took a trip to Houston, a big bus trip of West Texas, big cotton farmers and ranchers, and we went to the Hindu temples and the mosque and the High Temple and 13 different religious temples in 3 days. And I asked, what was your big takeaway? And these big cotton farmers that had guns and were ready to fight any Muslim that came through town had tears in their eyes. And they said, we can't believe we ate with a Muslim who didn't have a turban and didn't have a machine gun. So I think the importance of this conversation is so imperative because in America, we don't have the luxury that you do in these countries where y'all are so diversified and you have easy access to the other. We're very isolated. And so I think these kind of dialogues are so important for people in America really to bring the initiative, to bring the voice. And it was real scary for the Hindus and the Muslims and the Buddhists to come forward because they're not really accepted. But now they are. So I think that that's just a real simple, now our book club has got 58 people in it. We meet every week. And now we have a regional interfaith conference that includes all of West Texas. I mean, it's just growing and growing and growing, but it started with one little seed.
That's amazing.
So,
Circle is taking on across the world. And that is part of something, an initiative that I am starting in my local community back in Canada, but also something that I see happening around the world. And on Sunday, I will be hosting a circle open to all faiths and religion at Zorba the Buddha here in Delhi, which is a spiritual faith center. And we will be having a day-long celebration of self-love and sharing in each other's culture. Very similar to what you described, where you are sharing, through your own culture, your differences, but also an agreement of intention and a welcoming and a meditation and, really just embracing each other and our differences.
Any other questions? Anybody about it?
I was wondering that empathy is not a condition that one can't develop easily unless they have some suffering personally. You can't say you should empathize with people less fortunate than you, because people are not brought up that way. So unless they have some personal difficulty, that encourages them to think.
Thank you, I appreciate that. I teach courses in nonviolent communication, and I also bring peer mediation and empathy education into the schools for our kids, which is desperately needed. And empathy, there are individuals who are born with innate empathy, that just have that level of compassion and understanding. And then, can you learn empathy? That's what I faced when I tried to bring the programs into the schools. Well, either they get it at home and they're born with it, or they're brought up that way, can they be taught empathy? And I think that the answer to that question is a resounding yes. And I think part of that is the shared experience. I think the maturity of going through certain circumstances of suffering and loss definitely can hone that understanding and ability. But I think that as human beings, we're all capable of empathy, or the majority of us, I hope, are. And that we just need to learn a communications vehicle, such as nonviolent communication, to be able to express that empathy in a way that people can really truly hear us.
Beautiful.
Add something?
Oh, I thought you did.
No.
Okay.
You do want to say something? Any more questions? I have one. How are you getting that into the schools? The training?
The actual empathy education. Well, I've been trained, I'm a trainer in nonviolent communication, and so when we bring that in along with our restorative practices approach, restorative justice, by the way, is a way of dealing with conflict in that we believe it should not be based on punishment, but it should be based on accountability by the offender, and then the ability to the victim to have a voice in the process, and so they can heal. Okay? So when we explain that restorative justice has been proven to lower the truancy rates, lower recidivism, reoffense rates, and that we can help them learn to deal with disciplinary problems in a way utilizing their peers instead of student or administration, they pretty much welcome that. And they invite us to come in, and then with being able to share a peer mediation training, then we do restorative justice presentations and circles, and then actually add in the empathy education as well. Yeah, it's pretty powerful, and these kids are amazing. If you want to see empathy, go watch little kids. Little young people, they have that, and they're so unconscious, unself-conscious about expressing that. They do that. And there's one picture I remember floating around in cyberspace that showed up on my Facebook page, and it's this statues of these little ducklings, and as they sing, you may not see this, that the mama duckling is kind of on top of this wall, and then the other ducklings are on the wall, and then there's one little duckling that's trying to get up the wall, like struggling, and there's a picture of a young little toddler who's up there behind the little duckling and trying to push the little duckling up. That's pure empathy. I mean, that's compassion for animals, and there's understanding what does it feel like to be in this individual's shoes. Okay, and so I think that, and I think that they're recognizing that with the emotional intelligence movement that's going on in the United States and the actual within the educational and psychological mental health counseling push that's going on. I think they're being a little more receptive and open to having that type of education. Welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you to the speakers and the entire audience. Yeah, it all works. Yeah, yeah, work together, yes.
अभी कितना बजे पूरा अभी दूसरा बड़ी जल्दी ओके
And where are you from? And do you know what time?
It's 11 till 5. It's all day.
Close to the metro.
And you check to make sure it's that day. Or you can look at the location. Send you an invite as well.
To my Facebook and, because that's only my phone's not working, so.
Okay, sure, no problem. Thank you. And I can give you mine. I don't have the address, it's on the slide. I don't have it handy, but I'll give you my card. Okay. Feel free to email me.
You got it.
No, I'm a radiation technician, but I also have my own lifestyle. Because I'm currently
हॉल नंबर 5 है इसमें खत्म हो गए मतलब सेक्शन अभी नहीं है पूरा तो 5 फुट पे नहीं है कैंसिल
तो उसके बाद
ऊपर कुछ नहीं है बंद कर
खत्म सेटअप बंद कर
बंद कर
हाँ कर बंद અહીંયા થોડી વાર પછી
We're kind of mellow. New York is a little
સ્ટોપ કરીને આવું તો આ જોઈ
but as far as holistically in the States, especially like Christian, African American, very,
ખબર નહીં જોઈ
in that respect.
અહીંયા લોગિન કરી જોયું ટીલ પેજ બે માં આવી જાય અહીંયા બે માં ઓલા 5 બજે ના
That I want to stay away from Jesus and things like that. Just because I'm here with people today and great, like just being here in and of itself in India, you know, this very spiritual place. I find it really, really uplifting and enlightening to the point that we need to take this back to the States, you know.
What's happened for me?
Just wanted to speak to them, like I should push
Has deepened to a greater.
The speakers.
Okay, understanding